the Biblical Imagination series came from one idea, and that was William Lane, who discipled me for almost 30 years. And Bill used to say that you must engage with Scripture at the level of the informed imagination. So for 20 years I heard him do that. He was a Bible scholar, teacher. He wrote commentaries and that sort of thing. And a great pastor, great heart. First person to ever asked me to write a song. I would have never written music if it wasn't for Bill. So he's probably the most important person in my life. But Bill used to say, yeah, we engage with Scripture at the level of the informed imagination. And he did it. I saw him do it for all those years, but he never unpacked it. So after he died, I thought maybe I should devote some time in trying to understand what he meant. So I spent a long time trying to figure out what the imagination is, what an informed imagination is, and that sort of thing. And the best I could come up with biblically is that the imagination is the bridge between your heart and your mind. Because of the fall, we're fragmented, right? Our hearts and our minds are fragmented. And so some people engage with their minds, and that's fine because God gave you your mind, but they tend to just be theological and argumentative and they like to be right. And some people like to engage with their hearts, and that's good because God gave you your heart, but they don't tend to do their homework, So we have this either or. And if you look at the Bible, you see that it's really targeted to your imagination, not specifically your heart or your mind, but the narratives and the poetry and the apocalyptic and the parables of Jesus, they're all designed to recapture your imagination. The CDs came about just because, for me, I think musically. So I couldn't spend that much time in a book and not have songs come out as a process, because that's part of the way I process things. And it's actually a very interesting way to process information, because what you have to do is you have to boil it down and simplify it to get it into a lyric, but not dumb it down. So as much maybe for me as anything, it's a process of coming to understand and grapple with a passage. Because you don't get the complete story with any of the four Gospels. I think part of their perfection is they're incomplete in some sense. So in Mark we have the emotional life of Jesus. John's not interested in that. See, but in John we have almost this very mystical in John. In Luke we have this person who cares about the poor. At Matthew he's the rabbi. And all of those parts come together, I think, along with the Jesus of the present who lives in us and who ever lives to intercede for us and that sort of thing. So I think that's what I want to do, and I want to help other people do, is learn to know the four portraits as it were in the Gospels, but then really understand who he is now through those portraits. Yeah. So, yeah.